So I want to do a talk here on IC paradigms. And basically, IC paradigms, like, it's kind of a pun on IC ghosts. IC ghosts. IC paradigms. Look at the nice red effect on my face. So IC paradigms basically is what I do. You know, maybe I'm a little autistic. You know, I've been thinking about it recently. Why is it that other people can't see the world as I do? You know, what's going on here? And, you know, and everything from this ability to see paradigms. And I don't know if it came from me, you know, nearly dying when I was 3 years old, falling off the roof, and basically the trauma that I experienced. And I nearly died. And the story goes, you know, I was on the roof with my sister, and basically my brother came over on the garage roof playing, and we were told if we were up there. And my sister went down first, and I followed. My foot got, you know, trapped, and I fell over the side. I mean, I'm talking about, you know, a garage roof, like car height, more than a car height, right? Garage height. And my foot snagged, and I was hanging and dangling. I remember this, and it let go. And basically, if I hadn't had my arm out, I hit my arm, and I'm sure it probably hit my head too. You know, but it caused significant trauma when I was just 3 years old. And ultimately, I don't know. You know, that's my earliest trauma. I nearly died. So, what's the difference between what I do and what a futurist does? Think of me as a paradigm architect, right? Where a futurist basically sees paradigms in the distance and can describe them as they come into sight, right? So think of it like as I'm driving and I'm looking down the road, right? I see that object and I go, you know what? This is what's coming. This is, you know, the future of media, the future of education, yada, 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 right? Based on the road that we're on. What makes me different, what I do, is basically I look at paradigms as kind of like big Lego, groups of Lego, right? All stacked up. Like, you know, some of the paradigms is like the Western education complex. That's something I don't know, I've never heard that. I created that term, the Western education complex. That to me is a paradigm. You know, and I took it from basically we have the, we have the Western industrial complex and we have the Western military complex, right? Well, we have the Western education complex, and whoa, I'm driving here with my iPad, so I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going around some curvy stuff here. I got to hold it like this. Hopefully it'll be straightened out pretty soon. Bear with me. Driving and holding the iPad. Yeah, I do crazy things for you in order for me to share. So basically the Western education complex is how our entire Western education system is set up. And basically it's over a $4 trillion, you know, complex in many different ways, you know, industrial complex. And we're trying, and basically it's the only education paradigm we know. It's the bricks and mortar in schools. And in 2000, basically, I realized around 2001, I started thinking about education because I was involved in a startup that dealt with IT education. And, you know, when I started thinking about education in general, you know, I started thinking about all education. So, and E-Singularity was born because in the process I learned about the technical singularity and E-Singularity being the moment all education is freely accessible to all. And what I realized was things like this smart device that I'm talking on was going to be available, and really every kid will have one, could have one, right? We give all this. It's a lot cheaper than trying to build a Western education complex. And ultimately it's the only way we're going to educate the 2 billion, the 3 billion, or we're going to educate our populations. There's no way we can build the complexes, the schools, and train the teachers, and provide the books, or even provide all this on top of it. See, the idea is that we'll provide all the schools and stuff with this on top, and that's the big error. We can't do that. So ultimately, what we have to do is basically accept the fact that we can't, and all we can do is provide them with, with these multi-touch tablets. Now I'm in Katamachi. This is where everyone goes drinking. And I think I want to go right here. I never can figure out where to go in Katamachi. That's not where I want to go. And that looks like, look at this hot woman. She is all legs. Look at that. Where do I want to go? I'm trying to find the Akiyoshi place. So basically I see paradigms, and that was one such paradigm. And I think that's it there. I'm not sure. Akiyoshiwa. I think it's back there. Akiyoshiwa. すみません。Akiyoshiはあそこね。あそこAkiyoshi。これは大丈夫。ここで大丈夫？ダメで。I gotta turn around. There was actually a Western guy who was actually sitting there drunk talking to that guy. So this is where they all party, my wife's party. Alright, I gotta go down here. One block. So I see paradigms. That was one such paradigm. Another, and then from there, understanding the education paradigm, breaking down the current one, say, well, how do we educate 2 billion people is the question, right? How do we do that? That's a simple, that was a pretty simple one now, but think about it, in 2000, that's the only way we're going to be able to do that, right? And then, I'll talk next about basically the startup, right? I took the startup, broke it apart, broke the Lego pieces together, understood them, reassembled them, and came up with the open incubator framework. So what makes me different? I look at paradigms like Lego blocks, like an autistic sees smells or taste sounds or taste smells, and my brain looks at paradigms very differently than everyone else. And that's what I believe is what gives me the ability to potentially create them. But the problem is I don't have the funds to create them. So creating paradigms is expensive, very expensive business. So help me test my theory. Is Trout autistically paradigm? I'm not a futurist, I'm a paradigmist. That's my specialty, paradigms.